Breaking tonight, James Comey's memos that resulted in the appointment of a special prosecutor into Russian collusion may have been leaked illegally. A bombshell report claims that the former FBI director may have broken the law and violated his own agency's protocol potentially when he handed over those conversations and the notes that he made of them with President Trump to a friend who then took that information and gave it to the media. The president reacted earlier. He tweeted this: James Comey leaked classified information to the media. That is so illegal. That was the president's charge this morning via Twitter. Fox News chief intelligence correspondent Catherine Harris joins us tonight. She's following this story with the very latest. Good evening, Catherine.
Well, thanks, Martha. Speaking to reporters late today on Capitol Hill, the senior Democrat on the Senate Intelligence Committee gave the fired FBI director the benefit of the doubt.
There are very few people that would know better how to draft a memo so it wouldn't fall into the classified area than Jim Comey. And he testified to that before our committee to a question that I asked him.
A legal source close to the matter tells Fox News Director Comey's memos documenting his conversations with President Trump are considered government records. All FBI employees sign these employment agreements. They're called FD 291s that block the unauthorized storage or sharing of government material. An FBI veteran said today the rules apply to rank-and-file agents as well as executives.
It is hard to believe that that information would not be classified. And in furtherance, if it is true that the information was secret and or confidential, then that would be in violation of the rules.
Testifying before the same Senate panel last month, Comey explained his actions.
You consider it to be somehow your own personal document that you could share with the media as you wanted to?
Correct.
Through a friend?
I understood this to be my recollection recorded of my conversation with the president. As a private citizen, I felt free to share that. I thought it very important to get it out.
Comey then gave memos to a Columbia Law School professor who told Fox today that he never gave hard copies to the media. No memos were marked classified at the time he received them, and none had classified markings. But Comey may ultimately be criticized for what's called retroactive classification or after-the-fact classification, and that was the same issue that damaged Hillary Clinton's campaign, Martha.
Yeah, retroactively classified is a phrase we all remember well from the Hillary Clinton investigation. It's hard to believe. It feels like we're going down that same road again. Catherine, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So joining me now, Pete Hoekstra, former chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, and Richard Fowler, nationally syndicated radio host and a Fox News contributor. Gentlemen, this is so cyclical, this whole crazy story as it continues to unfold. So now you have James Comey, who says, I purposely leaked my own notes to the media because I wanted to trigger a special counsel in this case. So now, Pete Hoekstra, the question of whether or not he had the right to do that. And according to Catherine's reporting, anything that he writes on an FBI computer about a meeting with the president is government property.
Oh, that's exactly right. He had no right to leak this information. And then what we find out after he leaks this information, he basically becomes Hillary Clinton. Everything that he blasted Hillary Clinton for back on July 5, he now does. He expects us to believe that he really didn't understand the difference between government papers and personal papers. He then expects us to believe that he really didn't know that this was classified or potentially classified information and that he was just being sloppy. And then the explanation is, well, there's no markings on this that it was classified. That would have been like me being chairman of the Intelligence Committee, being in a top secret briefing, taking notes, and then leaving the meeting and handing them to my friend and say, give this to the media, share it with the media. And he'd look at it and say, I guess it's not classified. Yeah. The reason it's not classified is the classifiers probably never saw the documents. This is getting more and more bizarre. Remember, he was our top cop. The top cop in the United States expects us to be very, very sloppy and not hold him accountable.
Yeah, that was a jaw-dropping moment when you think about back to that hearing. When he said that, it's fine for him to take the notes on the FBI computer if he wants to record his meeting with the president. But then he said, so I really wanted it to get out after I got fired. So I gave it to my friend and told him to give it to the media. And you brought up, Pete, the reflection on James Comey's own words back on July 5th about how hard he was on Hillary Clinton for the way she treated government material. Watch this.
Although we did not find clear evidence that Secretary Clinton or her colleagues intended to violate laws governing the handling of classified information, there is evidence that they were extremely careless in their handling of very sensitive, highly classified information.
He may have done the same thing, Richard.
Well, I think we have to wait and see. I mean, vote is very clear. His friend, Daniel Richmond, who was the Columbia press that received the information, told the Washington Post that there was no classified markings. This information wasn't classified. And if you listen very carefully,
that's exactly what Hillary Clinton said, Richard. Exactly.
Right, but in the Hillary Clinton case, what we found out is a lot of these emails were retroactively classified. Right, we're back to where we started, where things could be classified after the fact. And I'm pretty sure that now the Justice Department and the Trump FBI is going to say these memos should be classified. But with that being said, I think we have to figure. I mean, I think if you listen to his testimony very carefully, the stop that you played there, he talks about the fact that, you know, his personal recollection as a personal citizen, which is I'm pretty sure the language that Comey's going to use to say, hey, listen, it wasn't classified. It's my personal thoughts that I wrote down. I gave to a friend. The friend leaked the information to the media, but not the memo, and that memo had no classified marking at the time.
Pete, quickly, your reaction.
Yeah, that's not how the process works. You can't work in the FBI or in the intelligence community, make some personal notes, and decide, you know what? I think that's unclassified, and I'm going to share it. There are classification procedures that you're supposed to follow, and I can bet that he never followed them. He cannot unilaterally take this stuff and say, it's not classified. I can share it with whoever I want.
But Congressman, let me just make one point here. I think the larger question that we're having is not necessarily about Comey and his classification or not classification. It's whether or not Donald Trump or his administration engaged in some malfeasance with the Russian government. And so I think whether we like it or not, we have a larger conversation at hand, and that's why the Justice Department appointed a special counsel.
After the intelligence
I got to leave it there, guys. Thank you so much.
There's
Pete
no
Hoekstra.
evidence after a year that ever occurred.
Richard Fowler. Great to see you both. See you next time.